All right, you guys, I decided I want to make just a series of every week showing how we use the secret stories. A lot of people kind of just don't know where to start. They're overwhelmed. So if you have the secret stories and are using them, or if you're thinking about getting them, hopefully this helps you. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is my first year having them for the full year. I got them like January or February last year. And I just want to show people if they're looking for a way to start or how to introduce them. I just want to point that out. So this is our first week of school. It's the end of the week, so I'm just going to kind of go through and say what we did. Otherwise, from here on out, I want to kind of each day, I'm going to try to hop on and talk about when they came up throughout the day. Because it's not like you just have one part of the day that's your secret stories time. It's going to be, they're going to come up all the time. So that's what I want to do from now on. But for this week, I'm just going to give you an overview of how I introduced them. The first thing you need to do is just get your posters up. All of them, right away. It's that easy to get started, is to have them up. The first day of school, I had these first day task cards around the room, and one of the questions was, what's something in the room you're wondering about? And I had a lot of people who put the secret stories, like what they are, what they're for. So I was already building their interest right then. So put your stories up, all of them. Don't put them up as you introduce them. It's not really something you plan out. You just kind of got to put them up and go from there. All right, so then after they asked that, I kind of told them what they are for, because a lot of them were interested, and I just kind of explained that they're going to be stories to help us remember what these letters do when they're together. So I said, for example, you guys know what sound T and H makes because it's a very common one, but I told them this story then, and they were already kind of mimicking it later on that day, and that was the first day of school. So that was just kind of how I introduced them right away. And then from there, I did introduce the Better Alphabet song because I told them we're going to teach it to our first grade buddies, just because I think, especially this year, they really needed that review of the letter sounds. So they weren't thrilled about singing that. One of my former students whose mom works here was just peeking at me in the window, and that's embarrassing. Okay, so they weren't thrilled about the Better Alphabet song just because, I mean, it seems a little babyish for them, but when I explained that they're gonna help their first grade buddies learn it, that was a little bit better. But anyways, so I did that, but then since we were doing that, I introduced the superhero vowels just because in the song it's, you know, A says but it can also say A, and motions or whatever. So I introduced the superhero vowels. And then from there, I also introduced Sneaky Y, and that led to some people recognizing that they had a Y in their name, not making it sound, so they recognized Sneaky Y in their name. And then I pointed out how I did the A-Y-E-Y story then too, because I have the word stay up there. And like last year I had Jay, who realized that he's like, well, wait, I have a Y in my name. It doesn't say E or I, it says A. So then that led to the E-Y-A-Y story. So I did introduce that one as well that day. And then from there, I just start pointing them out everywhere I see them in words. Right now they just kind of are in that phase where they just want to kind of know some of them. So I then today taught them O-W-O-U and E-R-I-R-U-R, because those are just ones that are pretty common in words. And then when we did read to self, I also taught the Mommy E. Okay, that was yesterday though. I did Mommy E, that way we talked about how do you know when a vowel is gonna say its name or when it makes it short and lazy sound. So then I introduced Mommy E. Okay, back up to it. Today I introduced those other ones, and then we did read to self. I'm like, I just want you guys to take a sticky note and see if you can find a couple words while you're reading that have the stories in them. And we shared afterwards. And these are the words we found, so I'm gonna put it up there. So now I'm just trying to have it connect for them that these stories are gonna be in the books that they are reading. They're gonna see them everywhere, and I want them to realize it's gonna help them with their writing. Now as we go on, and where I'm reading with them, and they're doing more, like, we're doing more stuff as a class, because right now it's been still that, you know, getting to know you stuff, and some of the beginning of the year assessments are getting pulled for stuff. Then it'll be more like led by what they need and what they, like, if there's a word they can't read, then we look to see if there's a story in there. So that will start to happen now this next week, but I wanted them to know what the stories were for. I think the superhero vowels are good ones to know, and Sneaky Y, and then, like I said, those other common ones, and then I'm just pointing them out to them as we go. They are already starting to recognize that there's other posters that I haven't told them the story for, but they're seeing them in words like SH, CH, again, common ones. So they also are getting curious. They've asked about a couple of what the story is, so I have their interest peaked, I think, so that's good. because then from there I can just keep telling them and then they can keep finding them. We had a girl whose birthday was today, so right away I was like, hey, how many stories do you guys see in the word birthday? And I'm just trying to point them out whenever I see them because I want them to be doing the same thing. And yeah, so that's about it for week 1. Like, so just put your posters up, maybe tell the superhero vowels, tell a couple others, start seeing them, start pointing them out when you're reading, when you're writing, to get them used to looking for them too. And they don't really need to be looking for them, I guess, but you know, I just think if they're looking for them, they're gonna recognize that they're in all these words, and then that'll help them when they come across words that they don't know to look for stories that might help them decode that word. So again, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but this is what I did that first week, and now next week I'm hoping more words come up from them needing help reading a word or spelling a word, or just curious about another story. Maybe they see a story in a word and they wanna know why the letters are behaving that way. So this was week 1. Stay along next week when I try to check in actually every single day, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye.